This is the Brunsviga 16T, made from about 1955 till 58 or 59, when Brunsviga was taken over by Olympia. Here's a current posting on eBay, the seller's third 16T that they mistakenly call a 13RM. I don't know where they got so many of these. Here it is in the 1955 Brunsviga catalog, right next to model 13RK. Here's the user manual with an empty space next to those buttons for other functionality. Here's the device that got that functionality, back transfer mechanism. Here's a gray one that I think was just painted over. Here's an electric one. The T in the model name refers to the keys. This was the first mechanical calculator to use the Sunstrand 10-key orientation that had been around since 1915. About 4,100 of them were made. It was the brainchild of Eberhard Menge and had a really cool toothed segment that was responsible for inputting the numbers. Other makers made one similar. Schubert made one, Olympia made one, and of course Facet made one that all looked similar, although I think Brunsviga's looked the best. And judging from my sample size, they work a lot better than the Facets too. Brunsviga can be a bit inconsistent with their naming the letters. This chart here is not the gospel. But here's an electronic E. The E stands for electronic. But you'll notice on mine, which somehow made it past quality control, there is no T on the end of the model name. And it's not just mine. Just ask Reddit user TAR_XVZF. 25 times 25 on this device. It's very hard to see. That's not just the camera. Well, it looks something like this. I enter in the 25 5 times, shift over once, and then enter it in 2 more times to give us 625. These clearing levels would have been next level if they slid instead of pivoted, but they correspond one each to the counter, and accumulator, and input. Now you can do them all 4 at once. They have like finger indentations for that, but the resistance on each of the registers is slightly different. So getting all your fingers to move at the exact same time is just kind of hard. Witness. Here's a closer view of that very difficult to see user input, or input register rather. Having a sliding input was a departure from the norm. So Brunsviga included these helpful little red arrows, which will tell you where the first and last digits of the input register are going to affect the accumulator. I think it's pretty cool. Of course it has a bell, so estimating pi looks something like this. First I put in the 355 and bring it up to the accumulator, clear out that input register, put in the, what is that, dividend divisor? I always have to look it up. And then hit that division button again, sliding it all the way over, and then start cranking away. These little doodads are just kind of shock absorbers if you happen to be using a lot of power when you crank this machine. And here it is with the hood off. You can see the spots there where the other potential buttons could have been. Those levers are sure hard to use without the little tabs on them. That little toothed arm there is what inputs the number on the accumulator before, the input before it slides over, ready for the next place. It seems strange to put the numbers in starting on the left side. That was a departure from other inputs. Here's a nice gear train. That green wheel is just a flywheel. So that was the Brunsviga 16T. Thanks for watching.